Wife got a job making 42 more across country, should she take it? My wife got a federal job offer for 42 more than she makes now, which is almost my entire salary. It also comes with a pension, better benefits and $20,000 relocation in a lump sum. We bought a new build house on TX almost 2 years ago, so we would have to sell it first. I believe we get taxed on that if we sell before 2 years. We bought it for $270,000 and I think we could sell it for $340, $350K according to our realtor. I could likely get a job in the city we are moving to on the East Coast for similar to what I make now. We have 2 leased cars that are both up in 1 month. Is this a smart move? I don't want to make a financial mistake. Edit. It's from around 70K to 101K and from Houston to Buffalo. The burning question here is what the cost of living difference is. Across country is very vague. Buffalo native here. 350K will get you a decently sized house, 3-4 bedroom house in the burbs. 110K is comfortable living here. We did have 7 feet of snow a few times this past winter, a jacket. Currently 50s and almost sunny though. How does the cost of living in the new location compare to your current location? It's hard to answer with only sharing increase. Is she going from $15,000 to $21,300 or from $200,000 to $284,000? I guess it depends on cost of living, where you want to live, how much she will like the job. Salary is only one of many variables in the determination to move across the country. Something I'm not seeing mentioned in other comments. You bought the house 2 years ago. So around spring 2021? I'm guessing you have a sub-3 interest rate. I know you will likely get a good deal of cash once you sell your current house, but even if you take all of that and put it towards the new one, are you ready to buy at 7 interest rates? It's gonna make your payment a lot higher while simultaneously costing you a big missed opportunity long-term on your existing house. Can you maybe afford to rent it out? As others have stated, you need to compare the call in each area. Also, I believe we get taxed on that if we sell before 2 years. That's correct. But remember, if you are being taxed, then it means you made money on it. Strange question, have either of you two ever done a real winter? Buffalo gets wild. If you are not use it or ever been through it, get ready for a very big life change. For some, I live in Colorado now, that 30K isn't worth the cold. Someone once told me what you want to do isn't as important as where you want to live, and it makes sense to me. Buffalo has its upsides, but it's extremely different from Houston. Lot of lake effect snow, and it's a lot colder. I'd be more worried about moving so far away from friends and family. The money, for me, would not be the primary concern unless you really need the extra income. I love my federal job and wouldn't change it for the world. The benefits are amazing, especially the time off. My experience has been awesome. How do you feel about the new location? Any family concerns? Sometimes if people have kids, they like to be close to grandparents. If you don't have kids or already don't live near either set of grandparents, that wouldn't factor in. It sounds like everything is pointing towards taking the job and moving. I would do it unless there's some other reason not to. If you plan on having kids, a federal job is even better for parental leave. Look up FEPLU if so. Another thing to consider that I haven't seen mentioned: be prepared for current mortgage rates if you plan to finance a new house in Buffalo. If you bought 2 years ago, you likely have a much better rate than those currently available. Many counties outside of NYC also have property tax rates well exceeding 2.5, mine's even above 3. Don't be deceived by the state average, which is much lower due to the generally lower rate in NYC. Buffalo living is cheap as fuck. You'll live like kings. Make the move. Meet the locals, they are nice as fuck. The place is super family friendly and neighborly. Fun little things to do all over the place. Kind of like the classic idea of Canada but in the US. Eat at Anchor Bar, drink at Bill's games, learn to cope with insane snowfall. Go there and live your new lives. Absolutely. Also, don't sneeze at the benefits of a government job. And if it makes her happier, that's a win for you too. Just to clarify, the tax deduction is prorated if you leave before 2 years for an approved reason. Job relocation is one of those. As a married couple, if you were there 1 year, you could have gains of $250,000 tax-free, half of the $500,000 for 2 years. If the cost of living is less than 42 more than your current city, and assuming the quality of life is comparable, sounds like a win to me. 100 move. 42 is too much of a difference, and it will only compound further in future once she hops from that job to next. Also, another idea is to not sell that house but rent it instead, if you have already locked into low interest rates. Are you prepared for winters in Buffalo? Serious question: have you ever experienced winters up north? Financially, it seems to be a smart move in general. From a lifestyle perspective, just make sure you understand what you're getting in upstate New York. Cold from October to March-April, average is nearly 6 feet of snow a year. I am Gs13 and was going to say, if it is near to DC, it won't be much of a raise. If you're okay with lake effect snow, go for it. Make sure you factor in state income tax, but I think if this is a move you both want, you should go for it. Life is for living. As for the home, how close are you to 2 years? Could you do a delayed closing or live apart for a few months to get over the short-term capital gains tax? As you think through this, realize that these moves typically do not happen overnight. Your wife should negotiate a relocation package that allows your family to move on a schedule that works for you. You left off one of the biggest benefits of being a federal employee and retiree: really good health benefits. I retired at age 56 with a small pension and federal BCBS. We are opting out of Medicare Part B because the BCBS coverage is so good. Congress gets the same retiree healthcare, so they won't be quick to change it. Your wife will have access to the TSP, which is the equivalent of a 401k plan. It has low-cost index funds and the G fund, which is only accessible via the TSP. I wouldn't move to Buffalo for $30,000, but that's just me. If you're casting this as a choice between Buffalo, New York and Houston, Texas, I'd pick Buffalo. Every time. Yes, there's lots of snow, but Houston is in Texas, and Texas is not where I choose to live. Great opportunity. Just do your research before moving. Housing costs in some of the East Coast larger cities might be way higher than what you are leaving. Thinking DC, Boston, NYC area. Doesn't mean don't take the job, but you may find housing a very different. Just be prepared. You may be renting instead of buying. Consider the state income tax implications too. Buffalo is a lot lower cost of living too. And you don't have to live in Texas anymore? I'd take it. Generally speaking, I don't think moving for jobs is worth it, but this sounds like a win-win. Is she currently working for the federal government? If not, I'd say go for it. I'm very pro working within the federal government. It's not without its setbacks, but there are many benefits and transparent about pay increases. Will she have a G's rating? What's the rate of step increases, etc.? If you guys decide to take this job, be aware that the 20K relo is considered income too, so set aside some money for taxes. Take it for what it's worth, but I make $140,000 supporting my wife and in northern Boston suburbs. The cost of living here sucks, and I believe New York is worse. I pay $2,700 a month for an 1,100 square feet 2-bed 2-bath apartment that advertises itself as luxury. With 10-15-year-old appliances, carpet throughout, basic countertops, a teeny tiny gym, we're talking a couple of treadmills and a bike. You get the idea. Do some research on how far that money will get you. Are you ready for Buffalo winters? That might be playing a part in the salary increase. Not many folks want to live there year-round.